Document management sits alongside the other Evolution MX modules and integrates seamlessly with them, providing a vital store of additional information in the form of documents of all kinds. Essentially, document management operates on three different levels. Primarily, it will store automatically copies of the documents that you create during normal transaction posting within Evolution MX, whether that be a purchase order, a sales invoice, a remittance advice, or a payslip, for example. Secondly, the document management module will store automatically copies of the documents that relate to incoming invoices received through the invoice register, for example, in the purchase ledger and the subcontractor's ledger. Thirdly, document management can be used on a more ad hoc basis to basically add documents of any kind against any area of the system as required, against a contract, a subcontractor, an employee, for example, simply through the use of a drag and drop facility. Existing documents that have been created as a result of the transactions can be seen through Evolution MX in a couple of different ways. Accessing the contract inquiry, for example, would allow you to drill down on transaction information about a particular contract, and then being able to see beneath that any documents associated. Using the source button at the bottom of the screen there, I'll be able to open up the source transaction and access the document associated with that. There's a copy of the payment certificate to a subcontractor automatically stored as part of the transactional processing within Evolution MX and stored within document management. That same image could be accessed elsewhere in the system. Using the analytics functions of Evolution MX, we could access the subcontractor information directly. Looking at subcontractor transactions, we could expand upon a particular subcontractor of our choice to be able to see a full transactional history. The paperclip indicates there's a link to an existing document. Simply clicking on that gives you an instant retrieval of the associated document. Any transaction which doesn't have a document attached to it already will be indicated with a simple plus icon. Using that will allow you to attach a new document at any time. Opens up a new window for you and allows you to drag and drop anything of your choice against that existing transaction. That could also be done against an entry that's already got a document. Accessing the paperclip will show you an existing document, but the add option could be used in the top left to add in additional documents as required. All documents added through document management will be automatically included within your Evolution MX dataset and included in Vital Backups. Invoices that arrive through the invoice register will automatically be stored through document management also. If we were to access our supplier information, we could, via a dashboard, for example, drill down on supplier balances. Beneath that, we're able to see for a particular supplier a full transactional history, or in this case, outstanding transactions only, using analytics to filter to your choice. The paperclip indicating there's an attachment. In this case, it's the image of the invoice that was received through the invoice register. Again, any other additional documents could be added to the same transaction using the add option. There's also a facility to add additional documents whilst processing through invoice register. So the presence of delivery notes, for example, proof of delivery, dockets, and so forth, could be added whilst the invoice is being processed through invoice register. The third area where document management could be used is on a more general level. So accessing a contract, for example, through either the contract inquiry or through the new dashboard facility. I'll load up an existing contract, and through one of the various dashboard tiles I've enabled on this particular screen, I could access the contract documents. Click to show you existing documents. This will show you the documents we saw elsewhere. So, for example, subcontractor payment certificates raised through the subcontractor's ledger will be visible against the contract also. Purchase orders, similarly, as raised through the purchase orders module, whether they be of a supplier nature or a subcontractor nature. So many of these headings will be automatically populated by the system as you perform your normal transactional processing. Other areas, however, could be used on a more ad hoc basis. So the presence of photos within the system, for example, could be because you've chosen to just drag and drop particular entries into that particular area. So these headings are your choice. They can be tailored to suit your particular requirements. As I say, you can easily add in new content under any of them. So by opening up my drawing section there, for example, and then dragging and dropping a new document over from my desktop or wherever it happens to be stored, it'll allow me to do that for single documents or multiple. You can tag several documents in one go to come over at the same time. You're now being invited to tell the system where to place that particular document under the choice of headings that you've got available to you. So I could use a drawing section at that point. That doesn't just create a link to that document, that actually copies it into Evolution MX. So it doesn't now still have to exist where it came from. Whether that be on a local drive or a network drive, is now within the Evolution MX dataset to be accessible from wherever the user happens to access it. Other areas of the system could be used similarly for dragging and dropping as required. You may have risk assessments, method statements, hand-arm vibration logs that may be created through manual means currently. The completed document, whether that's a Word document, for example, or just a scan, could be dragged and dropped into these headings. However, there is scope to consider the Evolution MX Forms module, which could be used to automatically populate these areas based upon the completion of forms being made on a mobile device, such as an iPad or a Galaxy tablet device. Those templates would be decided upon by you, made available to your mobile users for them to then create, based on the blank template, information relating to a site diary, an accident incident log, or whatever your choice may be. That could be including attached documents, signatures, and so forth, and then submitted through perhaps an approval process, after which they'll then appear against the contract. So that's the Forms module, which will have a separate session available for you to look at, should that be of any interest to you. But in essence, that's our document management module sitting alongside and fully integrated with the rest of your Evolution MX modules.